Okay, y'all were early. Okay, the show didn't end until after what was it, like 10:05.
I believe so. I
It
was
was
behind a
like
little bit.
it was like 10 because I kept checking and it hadn't ended yet. It went over just a little bit, but I am here. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Let me run the intro and then we will get into.
That fucking knuckle curve. I hate that damn
I'm
pitch.
gonna run the intro and we'll get into NXT. Okie dokie. So, everybody that came in early, y'all can get my top commenter of the day because I was late today. Okay. So, that's the way we're going to do it. Let me get these graphics together. I hope everybody had a good day. I hope you guys enjoyed your Tuesday. All right. Let me get these loaded up so we can talk about the show. Okay. Now, let's get to the top commenter of the day. All right. So the top commenter of the day goes to Rico because he was in here first. Okay. He was the first one. Numero uno. Okay. So shout out to you, Rico, for being number one. Then Nicole was in here. Okay. She was like, not me early because usually Nicole is a little late, but we love that for her. She's not late. She's on Nicole time, which is all right. She get a free pass. Young Boy Jay was the third, and then we have Tay at number 4, and my fifth is Kayla. These are my top 5 commenters of the day. My honorable mention goes to Aaliyah. And if you want to have a shout out or top commenter of the day, give you guys a little bit of a give you guys a little shout out for the day. You can always come in early, or if you are a member, when I see your membership pop up, you will automatically get get you a little nod because you came in and you're paying. You're paying the bills, honey. Okay. Now, let's get into the show, ladies and gents. Okay. So the show started out with Soul Ruka. Okay. Soul went up against Izzy Dane. And if I'm being completely honest, Izzy did a pretty decent job. She wasn't bad in the ring at all. There was some slower moments in the ring where Izzy wasn't completely set so that the move would be a little bit more fluid. But all of that will come in due time as she progresses in the ring with other superstars as well as with Sol Ruka. If I had to give her one critique, I would say she need to also work on her timing, getting closer, making it look or appear to be a little bit more fluid in the ring, depending on, who she's going up against. But all of that will come to fruition with more practice and more time. And she finally is getting in the ring. Kiana's no longer there, so they don't have them together. So, shit happens, all right? But Soul and Izzy Dame had their match. It's pretty decent. We liked it. We loved it. It was cute. We're moving on. Now, I think Izzy really likes green because she always wears it. But so do I. So I can understand why she like it. She got the graphic liner working for her. We love that for you. So let me show y'all the render for Izzy. Let me see if I can find it because they being real petty today. So everybody can see that the sisters did do that. Come on, computer. Thank you. My goodness. All right. No, you on time, Tears, and no worries. I literally just started. Hello, Jonelle. How are you? You are well on time. Okay. So, like I said, Izzy and Soul went first. Okay. This was the first match of the night. We saw Kiana talking to Izzy, telling her, hey, look, you got this. You go ahead and you take over NXT, and I'm finna go run Monday Night Raw. You ain't finna go run nothing. I'm gonna be nice today. I'm going to be nice. We're going to keep it nice and breezy around this bitch. Anyway, Soul went up against Izzy Dame, like I said earlier. And in this match, it was pretty solid between the two of them. Soul was able to hit her signature move. Izzy Dame looked really good in the ring against Soul. She didn't have any missteps. I would say with time she'll be able to clean up some of it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't superiorly great, but for her, with the limited amount of time I've seen her in the ring, she seems to be fairly solid, and I think she's only going to get better the longer she's in the ring. Okay. I will say that she's light years ahead of where Tiffany Stratton was when Tiffany Stratton started. So she's very good in the ring as a power wrestler, and I can appreciate that. And I love Soul. Soul's a very cool wrestler. She's fun to watch. I like Soul Ruka, and I think Soul is a really good place to start. Like if you're trying to start off the next generation of superstars, and you want to give a good crop of those next generation some accolades, a big push, or a title, I would definitely put Soul on that list of people. Nicole said, if you late, you late if I beat y'all. Anywhoosies, let's get into the next match that I did see. I saw this match between Malik Idris and Lucian and Bronco. Okay, so look, somebody got to lose in this sense, okay? But the thing that I'm not really understanding is the issue with Malik and Idris and how they're progressing. They don't really need a lot of work in terms of their in-ring work. It's usually very, very solid, extremely entertaining to watch. I think character-wise, they do have some character building, but so do Lucian and Bronco. Like they don't really have much of a character either. It's more based off of a cultural thing. You know what I'm saying? If I had to be fair, like I see more character in Idris and Malik than I do in in Bronco and in Lucian. So I'm not I'm not indifferent to either one of these teams. In fact, I want to see both of them succeed. But what I'm really starting to notice a pattern of is when it comes to Malik and Idris, they are usually the butt of everything, whether it be putting over another team or giving somebody a 5-star match. Like Shawn Michaels is always using them to do something for somebody else. It's never the other way around. And I'm kind of I don't like it, but I understand that somebody's got to bite the bullet, and the boys are on TV. We see them wrestling. So there's some levels of positivity here, but at this point Idris and Malik haven't won a match in almost a year. And I'm just starting to wonder what the problem is. Like why can't they at least get one W? You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I like this match with OTM and Idris and Malik. I think they should have started a rivalry with these four rather than just having them get beaten by OTM. But what I did like is that they utilized this to beef up the feud between Brindley and Jada Parker, because they're going to be competing in this tournament to qualify into the women's North American Championship match that's happening at Battleground on June 9th. So those girls fighting each other in the midst of the match made sense to me. Okay. So I didn't have an issue with that. I just want there to be some equal fairness across the board when it comes to these tag teams. Like, y'all gave Gallus a whole lot of wiggle room. Gallus has been champion twice, if I'm not mistaken. I think it might be even 3 times. Well, from the time they got from NXT UK to the time they got to the roster, they have been champion multiple times. Meanwhile, Idris and Malik ain't even got to smell the damn titles, let alone hold them. I'm not saying that everybody deserves a title shot or everybody deserves to be champion. I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying is, when you have a team at the caliber of where Malik and Idris are, they don't need to hold the titles for long, but at least put some respect on their names. You feel me? I hope y'all do. But let's move on. Lash went up against Ivy Nile. Uh, Ivy ended up suffering a loss on this one, which I kind of figured she would. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. And, everybody is concerned or worried about it in terms of how these girls are being placed in this tournament. But real talk, I don't have an issue with this. I feel like Lash should have went over on Ivy. Ivy has no business being in the tournament. Now, she can compete against the actual inaugural champion and possibly be a champion that way, but I don't need Ivy to be the North American champion for the women or to advance in the tournament. I want to see what they're going to do with her on the main roster. They got a lot of work they can do with Ivy, and I feel like Ivy could be a great addition to that women's roster, and she is. I just want to see what they're going to do with her over there on WWE's main roster at this moment. Now, there were some filler matches and filler scenes in this show, and we'll get to that. Now, here, Noam Dar got attacked before they went on air, or at least they are alluding to it. Now, they was mad at Lash because she wasn't there, and they was yelling at her and acting like she don't care about Noam Dar, and Noam Dar seemed to be very much faking this injury. Now, one of two things is what's happening here, okay? Noam Dar either literally did get attacked and Lash Legend attacked him, or he's faking this injury so he didn't have to go up against Javon Evans, okay? Because the way he was looking at Lash was just a very interesting look that he gave her. Is it possible, like I said, that she attacked him? Yes, it's very possible. Because when they were in the medic room, she was getting ready, and of course, Noam Dar was in there looking like he was about to cry and shit. So she just like, what the fuck? And he's laid out on the chair talking to the medic, and Oro takes his place instead. And of course, Jakara and Oro are just trying to, get him together and hype him up. But Noam Dar is just like, Lash, you ain't no friend, and Lash just standing there, and she just like, bitch, I got shit I got to do. Y'all do what y'all gotta do, but I gotta go. She said, I ain't got time. Now, after that, we got a match between Lash and Ivy Nile. Decent match between the women. Now, I actually really enjoyed the match. But during this match, Jakar was out there with Lash. The girl, Lash, picked up the win, and she is now a part of the NXT Women's North American Championship ladder match. She qualified just like Sol Ruka did. So those two qualifier matches were the two matches that we had. If I recall, I don't think there were any more qualifier matches. Now, in this match, the next match we got was between Oro Mensah and Javon Evans, which I really liked this match. I thought this match was so much fun. Oro finally got to really play in the ring. They don't really give Oro a lot of time to jump and do what he normally does in the ring. And damn, in terms of high flying and moving, like he doesn't really get to do that much in his matches. So him going up against Javon Evans was probably a gift from him because he finally got to perform at a caliber that he hasn't performed at in a very long time. So this was a very interesting match. I like this match, and I feel like, honestly, I feel like they should, Oro should have been one of the people that competed for that NXT North American Championship. It's all heavyweight people outside of Wesley competing for that championship. But I would love it if Wesley won and we could get like a triple threat between him, Oro, and Javon Evans. Oh, that match would eat. It would be so much fun to watch. I would just love that so much. Okay. But anyways, in the midst of this match, Oro Mensah decided to distract the referee and ask Lash to give him the chair. Okay. But Trick Williams came out there and told her to put the chair down. And sis put the chair down with ease. Put the chair down, honey, and was like, "What is you doing out here?" And he is like, "Nah, baby, put that chair down." And she was like, "Yes, daddy." Ooh, Lash, you're digmatized, girl. You are digmatized. You have been digmatized, honey. And of course, with the assist from Trick Williams, Javon Evans was able to best Oro Mensah. It was a good match until he tried to cheat. It really, really was a good match until he tried to cheat. Wesley came out and cut a promo and was talking about his passion for the sport and how he's coming back for that NXT North American Championship, a title that he literally built on his back. And Oba says while he admires his ability to overcome his adversity and his tenacity, he says that he doesn't feel sorry for Wesley and that he is the ruler of NXT and there is nobody who is going to take his championship away from him. And then, of course, two other challengers who have all tried to conquer Oba Femi and have failed in terms of Briggs and Ivar. Both of these men have failed to beat Oba, and Wesley is the only one who has not competed against Oba Femi. But a suggestion was made after the men came out and were literally arguing amongst themselves. Wesley decided since Oba Femi was the ruler he claimed to be, why don't he just compete and we just make it a fatal four-way? Oba Femi declined that offer. He said, "That's why I'm the champion and you're not." He said, "You three can fight amongst yourselves, and the winner will get a shot at me." And that is that. Now, Carly Bright made her debut today. I don't know who this young lady is. I've never seen her wrestle before, but apparently she's pretty damn good in the ring. So a lot of people tend to like her. She got pretty basic gear. She's very, flippy, acrobatic, gymnast type of wrestler. So she made her debut today and she was going up against Lola Vice, unfortunately for her. But she had some pretty decent moments in here to prove she can go at it just like the rest of the girls. But unfortunately, Lola and her shaking hips won the match. And I was just like, girl, okay. Now, prior to all of this, Lola had got attacked, and so did Shayna Baszler. They was back there talking to the backstage correspondent. And essentially what she said to her was, Shayna Baszler was like, "I'm one of the longest, if not the longest, reigning NXT Women's Champion in history." And Lola Vice calls herself the most dangerous woman in NXT. And of course, Lola is like, "I got some unfinished business with Roxanne." And they went on their little rant, bitch. Now, in the midst of this, Carmen's ass came out of nowhere and bust Lola in the face. And these hoes was back there scrapping, okay? And Natalia took out Shayna. Now, Natalia was barely hitting Shayna, but Carmen and Lola, they were scrapping. Now, in the midst of them fighting, the NXT girls tried to break them up. And Lola, dead ass, stiff arm punched one of them girls in the face. I don't know who this girl was, but she punched that girl in the face. She punched that girl in her face. I said, oh my God. That poor baby. Soul Ruka gonna go crazy on the main roster. I'm very excited for Soul when she finally goes up. Yeah, Carly been tearing it up on Level Up. She said, oh Lord, another one of them flippy balance beam bitches. If I'm being fair, Tears, that you could say that, but she's not as you know, how can I explain it? If I could compare her to Tiffany Stratton, she's not as poised as Tiffany. Tiffany is very, very vertical with everything she does. Everything is about precision. It's all about how it looks, the stylistics of it with her. With this girl, Carly, this is more of an athletic, but this is a fluid gymnast. So she's doing the backflips, she's doing the tricks, the cartwheels and stuff, but it doesn't look as stiff as it does with Tiffany Stratton. Okay, it's a little bit more loose, it's a little bit more fluid, it looks a little bit easier to digest because of the way that she's doing it. I can't explain it, but when you get a chance and you know, like you got an off day at work and you sitting at home and you just chilling, just go to the Peacock Network and pull up Level Up. It's a little white girl, you're gonna know her when you see her. I think the last couple of Level Up she's been on and she's wrestled. You can go on there and watch and see what I mean. And I think you'll understand what I mean by her style of wrestling is not on the same vein as Tiffany's, but they do have a gymnast acrobatic background. I would liken her more to more of an acrobat because acrobats are a little bit more fluid. They have a little bit more give to their movements. It's not so poised, pointy, straight back. Yeah, Carly gives more fluid to me. But I want you to see it for yourself so you can understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Yes, she is. You ain't lying. They're gonna definitely sell out. Now, basically what happened with Nat by Nature and them is that they went out there after they got pulled apart from the initial attack. They ended up attacking Lola and Shayna Baszler again because Lola was trying to attack Carly while she was in the ring after she just beat her. Carmen and Natalia came in the ring and they fought Shayna and Lola and took them both out. And they made a match. They was like, since y'all want to be in here bullying people and acting a fucking fool, y'all can fight us next week in a tag team match. The rest separated them, and the match is made. So Ava accepted it, and it's going to be Nat by Nature and Carmen versus Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler. Now, the final match of the night, yeah, it's Bright. I'm sorry. It's Carly Bright. Thank you, Rico. So the last match of the night was between Dempsey and Tony D'Angelo. Now, there was a little video from NXT Anonymous, and then that video ended up popping up. Well, the main video ended up popping up on NXT of Ava scolding Tony D'Angelo for taking his liberties in this of the show in his own hands. Removing the referee from the opportunity to ref and enacting his own referee in the match. She says, I could very much well end this match right now and not let you compete. And of course, his right-hand man is like, no. She was like, no, you won't, because she's already advertised it. It's already been sold on the fact that you're going to have this match. And of course, Ava knew that. And Ava was like, you know what? You're right. I probably can't do that, but I can fine you 20 G's because you violated the rules. You cannot make up your own rules, Tony. Even though you're the Don, you still exist in my world. That's the end of it. That's the bottom line. You can't kidnap referees and change matches to your liking. That's not how this works. Now, Tony was being respectful and still slightly shady at the same time. He essentially told her, Ava, you're doing a great job. And I know that this job can be a little taxing. It's a little difficult on you sometimes, but it's okay. You're a strong woman. You'll get through it, right? Well, she said, 20 G's, please. You've been fined. He said, 20 G's? All right. Pulled out an envelope with all the money in it, and then he promised her just a little extra, you know. And then she asked, well, prior to that, she asked, where was the rest of the no catch quarter crew, or the no catch quarter crew's their name? He said he didn't know where they were. He said, honest to God, I don't know where they are. But he said, in this match, in a Heritage Cup match, I promise you there'll be no funny business. I'm going to do this straight up and down. And she says, okay, fine. So the match stayed on and they went and had the match. Now, during this match, Tony D'Angelo had Charlie Dempsey pretty much up majority of the match. However, his two members of Damon Kemp and Miles Bourne showed up later on after the No Catch Quarter Crew. The No Catch Quarter Crew showed up to help Charlie, but that didn't help him. Tony D'Angelo ended up winning the Heritage Cup, and he is now the Heritage Cup champion. Now, the show looked like it was about to go off, but there was a bit of chaos backstage because another attack happened. And this time, the attack was on Wesley, Ivar, and of course, Josh Briggs. Now, the question was, who attacked him? And we finally got to see who the attackers were. It was Gallus. And Gallus has made it very clear that they have returned, and they have returned with a vengeance, and that this was only the beginning. And their main question, or their main bread and butter, was, hey, did you miss us? And my answer to that would be no. Quite frankly, I find Gallus to be very, very boring. They don't do a lot, in my opinion. In ring, they're great. I don't mind watching them in the ring. Character wise, they don't do nothing but yell, guzzle beer, and talk a lot of shit that don't make sense. And quite frankly, I don't need that type of character to be hype about wrestling. But whatever floats your boat. I don't quite understand how attacking Wesley, Ivar, and Josh Briggs fits into their narrative. But if they're going to add Joe Coffey to this match, then that's a whole different ball of wax, and a fatal four-way it shall be. I don't know exactly what's going on in NXT, but it looks like Shawn Michaels and Ava have started to shake things up a bit. We are heading to NXT Battleground on June 9th, and there are some matches that are going to be booked. Now, they still have a lot of time, but they have to book Roxanne's match. There's the match for Oba Femi that's working to being built. And then they still have to book the tag team titles, possibly the Heritage Cup. And then we still have the North American Women's Championship that will be crowned. And of course, your NXT champion gotta be in competing at the NXT Battleground. This will be his first PLE as the champion, so they're not gonna let him miss that. So we got a lot to work with in NXT by June 9th. So hopefully very soon they'll be leading into some of those matches. Let me see what y'all said in these comments. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Travis. Love that. Yay, Gallus is back. It stopped raining where I live. I'm staying awake. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate it. That twister, that twirler ass mustache, unfortunately, babe. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was your show for NXT. I thought NXT was quite entertaining. If you missed it and you had the chance to record it or watch it in the replay on streaming, I highly recommend that you do so because it was a good show and it's worth the restream. I like the way that they're going with this women's championship, with the North American championship. They're, stretching out these matches so that we get enough where we get a lot, but not too much. Next week, Jada Parker is going to go up against Brindley Reese, I believe her name is. And I think that the next one is Fallon and Thea. Okay. And then we should have another match. another two matches after that, but I'm not quite sure of who it's gonna be. Because it was 12 girls and six of them will advance to the ladder match. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But I'm excited for that match. I think that match is gonna be fun to watch. Especially with the girls. If they make a nice mix of girls, it's gonna be interesting. What's also going to be interesting is if Obafemi goes up against Wes Lee at Battleground. I think that's going to be an interesting match as well. All of these matches are going to take place in the UFC cage, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, it's gonna be in that UFC Apex in Nevada. That ring is like an octagon, so I'm very very interested in how that's going to look and how that's going to play into matches. I'm also very interested in the matches that they're going to book. Like they got a lot going on, and I haven't seen Roxanne in a couple weeks, so I'm interested in there in that match. And I'm really interested in how they're going to book this NXT Battleground show. So I rewatched that and delivered the other day, and at the end of the women's six tag, Fallon looked high key mad. High key looked mad. Then that's what I was telling y'all. If you go back to the live, or if you ever have a chance to, when you go back to the live, that's what I was talking about in the live after we watched Stand and Deliver. I was like, Fallon don't look like she was happy at all. In fact, Fallon looked super pissed. But after that, she kept pretending like she was happy and like she was Thea's friend, which boggled my mind. I would have did it at Stand and Deliver, attack the girl at Stand and Deliver, but whatever. But she just looked like she was pissed after that, and I was just like, girl, you just won. So what's the issue? She was mad that the all of the fortune and all of the attention wasn't on her. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Allergies, y'all. It is ugly. Okay. But anyways, thank you, Rico. Anyways, y'all, we can talk more about NXT Battleground and how it should be booked tomorrow. We're gonna also go over Clash at the Castle. We'll talk about Clash at the Castle and where things could potentially go for Clash at the Castle tomorrow, because that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna skip over King and Queen of the Ring. I'm gonna talk about it briefly, but we ain't gonna dwell too much on it. I'm very interested in where we could go heading into Clash at the Castle. But then, too, a lot of matches that are happening at King and Queen of the Ring could be a contingency of what could happen at Clash at the Castle. So we'll wait and see. But there's a lot going on in WWE, and I love that for them. I also want to talk about Willow and how she went to the wrestling club this week, and she went to go see them, and the response that she got was so crazy. Like everybody was happy for her, and the kids were so excited to see her. They were jumping up and down for joy, and I was just like, Willow deserves all the love in the world because she's one of the nicest people I've ever seen. What you see on TV is what you get with her, and I love that about Willow. Also, we're going to talk about some TNA stuff because I haven't discussed TNA enough, and I feel like TNA needs a little bit of discussion. Some of it's going to be bad and some of it's going to be good, but I feel like TNA deserves some discussion. But we just going to talk wrestling tomorrow, so make sure you have all your shit ready, okay? They are having these pay-per-views back to back, Nicole. You are right about that, because they're literally a month to 3 weeks apart, depending on the pay-per-view. So I'm going to show you what I mean. All right. The next pay-per-view that we're going to have is King and Queen of the Ring, right? King and Queen of the Ring is May 25th. Let me see if I can get an image of King and Queen of the Ring. There it is. Let me see if I can get this as a JPEG. Nope. Flowers and gifts, restaurants. I swear he buy me anything I want. That's why I'm so quick to. All right. So, King and Queen of the Ring, okay, it is on May 25th, right? The next pay per view right after that is Clash at the Castle. Clash at the Castle is June 15th, which is a month from now, okay? So, May 25th, which is next Saturday, is King and Queen of the Ring. They're going to be in Saudi for Friday and Saturday. They'll be in Saudi, and SmackDown is going to stream live from Saudi on Friday. Okay. Then you have Clash at the Castle, which is going to be on a Saturday on June 15th, which is literally 3 weeks from the 25th. Okay. 3 weeks they have to book Clash at the Castle, which is why when you look at the roster, a lot of the storylines are running together. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Nicole. That is why some of the storylines are running together. And like sometimes we'll see one storyline on one PLE and we don't see this storyline that we've been seeing for weeks on the other. It kind of gets extended till we get to the next PLE. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to Money in the Bank because it's in July. It's on the 6th, which is again literally a few weeks after. So we got the 15th, the 22nd, the 29th, and the 6th. That is 3 weeks after the 15th. 3 weeks. That's when you're going to get Money in the Bank. 3 weeks after Clash of the Castle. They're going to be in Toronto then. Then we have SummerSlam, which is on August 3rd. That is 3 days shy of a month out from Money in the Bank. Not even 3 weeks later, we're going to get Bash in Berlin, which is happening on the 31st. So, yes, Nicole, you are 100% correct. These pay-per-views, rather PLEs, are very close together. They are in between the 3 to month spacing between each pay-per-view. After Mania, that's how they've been setting up these pay-per-views. Now that means they're stuffing in extra PLEs. I'm all for you doing the PLEs overseas, but I feel like you don't have to do it with so much adding in because not only are you going to be adding all this shit in, but these guys are on the road as well. They're not only going to be on doing the live shows, but they also have their WWE live schedule, and that shit is tight. We're talking about down to like the very last minute. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Then by what Tirza just said, next year's Mania is not in the traditional spot of early May. It's in mid-May. April, my bad. Early April is in mid-April. It's the 19th and the 20th. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up for you so y'all can see. Mania 41 Vegas 2025. That is so weird to say. That don't sound weird to say to y'all? 2025 for Mania? That sounds nutso to me. It sounds nuts. 2025. Wowzers. That's crazy. She said they pushed Mania at that time because folks was complaining it was too early and it was too cold. A lot of people were freezing at Mania this year, but I think that all went out the window when they was actually watching the show, if I'm being honest. But they decided to take Mania to Las Vegas for next year. And this time, instead of it being in early April, they pushed it back to the 19th and the 20th when they believe it'll be a little bit warmer. But it's Vegas. It's going to be warm no matter what time of the year they go. It sounds weirder to say WrestleMania 41, IDKY. I don't think it sounds weird. I mean, it's just weird that it's a 2025. Lord knows. Yeah, it is warm in April, Tears, and you right. That's why I was just like, it's warm in April, so I don't understand why you pushing it back. If it was gonna be in another northern state, like maybe New York, or if it was gonna be in Chicago, or if it was gonna be somewhere up north that normally is cold or colder around that time of the year, then I would say, okay, pushing it back to the 19th or the 20th is makes sense to me. But like, I don't know. Exactly. People were talking about how they were sick of manias in the cold. How they only had mania in the warmer cities. Like, I remember they went to Texas and Louisiana and Atlanta and Florida. Literally in a 10-year span, they was there every other year. They was flip flopping between those four cities. So I don't understand that. I've been to Vegas in April and in May, and I remember when I went, and I know it was hot. My mother told me it's engulfing heat there. She said that's not the kind of heat. Like, she said, I don't fuck with Vegas, but folk was like, you gotta go. Oh, girl. Anyways, y'all, we'll talk more about this stuff tomorrow. I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all get y'all some rest. And tomorrow I will go live. I'll go live later. I'll start the live at around 9. That way everybody will have time to get home, get some rest, and then pop into the live and we can talk about everything. Like I said, we're gonna talk about all these PLEs that are coming up. We're gonna talk about NXT Battleground more and what is going to entail with all of that and the matches that potentially are being booked for that. We're just going to talk about all that good stuff and just more wrestling conversation. Okay. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Love yous.